Sion as a pick has risen in popularity, going from one of the least picked top laners in patch 8.14 to one of the most picked over the course of 7 patches. Sion has become a stable top lane pick. But why is that? In patch 8.14, Sion received a buff on his Q, the Decimating Smash, which increased the minimum and maximum base damage while also upping the AD ratio on the minimum and maximum base damage. That means that from patch 8.14, Sion has more damage available in his kit to streamline his damage efficiency in his lane, thus giving him more presence in lane, but these were not the last buffs Sion received. Then in patch 8.16, buffs to Sion brought forth more tankiness to him. The Undead Juggernaut's W, Soul Furnace, got buffed, giving him more bonus health upon minion, monsters and champions deaths. In this patch, Sion then sprung from being one of the least picked top laners to the 23rd most, and his popularity has only continued to rise from there. The extra damage Sion received in patch 8.14 and the extra health in 8.16 suddenly makes Sion's lane very oppressive. With the extra damage, he can strike down his opponents whom have a hard time fighting because of the extra health and the shield from Soul Furnace. The synergy between the extra health and the shield cannot be underestimated. The added shield value from Sion's maximum health only gets stronger as the game goes on, meaning that the shield's strength is already massive from its first level. But it's not only his buffs in patch 8.14 and 8.16 that have made Sion extremely popular. There are 3 different rune setups that are used when playing Sion. In the first rune setup, which consists of Resolve and Inspiration, where you pick magical footwear, the core idea is to gain a lot of health and movement speed. Grasp of the Undying will deal damage according to 4% of your max health, heal for 2% of your max health, and permanently increase your health by 5 every time you proc it. As Sion is already stacking up health from his Soul Furnace, the synergy between the Grasp of the Undying and the Soul Furnace is unchangeable. They simply go hand in hand by giving Sion more health and thus more damage as well. Demolish is effective because of Sion's tankiness. Because of the wind-up time being changed in 8.23 to 3 seconds from 4 seconds, he does not have to spend as much time around the tower, which would not be a problem anyway because of his tankiness, and the damage from Demolish is great because it deals 100 plus 30% of your max health. The pickup of Overgrowth in the runes further increases Sion's max health by 2.5 when he reaches 120 CS. Magical Footwear is a rune that is okay to pick up on Sion because Sion always has Teleport or Unstoppable Onslaught available to get back to lane, and Time Warp Tonic makes up for the lack of boots as it gives him 5% movement speed while under the effects of a potion. The differences between rune setup 1 and 2 are that Shield Bash and Second Wind have replaced respectively Demolish and Conditioning in the Resolve tree, and Magical Footwear has been replaced with Biscuit Delivery. The Shield Bash gives Sion's shield a bit more beef, as Shield Bash gives Sion more resistances while shielded, and it buffs his next auto attack after his shield expires. Second Wind gives Sion more sustain after having taken damage, as it heals for 4% of his missing health. This means that alongside Biscuit, which are essentially stronger potions, and Time Warp Tonic, that Sion suddenly has a lot more sustain in his laning phase with rune setup 2. With rune setup 3, you pick Inspiration as your main tree and Resolve as your second. You pick Glacial Augment from the Inspiration tree because it allows for Sion's chase potential and teamfighting presence to get stronger. With your auto attacks, which is straightforward to land as a Sion with all his slows built into his kit, enemies will be slowed by 50% for 2 seconds on top of all his slows from his kit. You get to have both the sustain from biscuit delivery and time war tonic, and the added movement speed from the magical footwear. In the result tree, shield badge is taken for the extra resistances, while bone plating can hinder any burst attempts to come through. All in all, a rune setup primarily focused towards teamfighting presence with the slow from the glacial augment. Now that we have covered the thoughts behind the strength of Sion, let's delve into why he is effective as of right now. Sion, while he can be frustrating to play against, is not inherently a champion who often wins his lane. The other flavor of the month, top laners in Urgot, Victor, Darius and Aatrox, are all much more dangerous because of their raw potential damage output. But what they are lacking, which Sion has, is the power to nullify lanes and the power to control teamfights. In lane, Sion does not push you in, does not poke you and wear you down, and he certainly does not kill you. But he can stand his ground with the sustain from the Grasp of the Undying, and that allows for him to scale his health up with Soul Furnace. An opponent like Urgot or Victor controls the lane against Sion, but Sion does not mind that, as he has his Decimating Smash, which is good at clearing waves. This forces his opponent to stay in lane and thus makes the enemy unable to capitalize on pushed lanes. Even if an opponent is able to roam, Unstoppable Onslaught always means that Sion can join the fight from across the map. In teamfights, Sion is a jack of all trades. He brings Engage from his Unstoppable Onslaught, peeling and chase potential with Decimating Smash and Roar of the Slayer, and Sion is just incredibly tanky because of the stacked health and the shield from Soul Furnace. Righteous Glory, one of the most picked items on Sion, strengthens his existence in teamfights with its active, which gives him a brief burst of movement speed followed by a slow. Sion's win rate shot up from being the 42nd highest in patch 8.14 to 2nd highest in 8.22. Alongside being buffed in 2 patches, Sion's ability to stack health from his runes and his Soul Furnace have a gigantic presence in teamfights and a safe and sound laning phase have all contributed to this rise in Sion's popularity. Sion brings a bit of everything to the game, and while a jack of all trades is usually mediocre at everything, Sion excels in every aspect of the game.